if your erections aren't as strong as they used to be, if you're constantly running on empty no matter how much you sleep, if intimacy has become something you want, but your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, then don't go blaming age just yet. Because what if the root of the problem wasn't age at all? What if your body has been quietly asking for help, missing just 3 critical vitamins that most men over 60 are low on? I'm Dr. Laura, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men like you, men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, reignite their energy, restore their strength, and reconnect with the part of themselves that may have gone quiet over time. Most doctors won't tell you this. It's not always about a lack of desire. It's about a lack of blood flow, endurance, hormone balance. And often, the fix isn't in a little blue pill. It's in your daily habits. It's on your plate. It's in 3 specific vitamins your body desperately needs. So drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. It always amazes me to see how far this message reaches, and it helps us build a global brotherhood of men supporting men. And if this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 and tell me how we can make this content even more helpful. Now let's get into it, because I'm about to reveal not only the 3 essential vitamins every man over 60 should be taking, but also the one mistake that keeps most men from seeing the benefits, and how to avoid it starting tonight. Part 1, Vitamin D, the circulation spark plug. Let's start with the foundation, vitamin D. Now, most people hear of vitamin D and think, yeah, sunshine, bones, I've heard that before. But here's what they don't realize. For men over 60, vitamin D is so much more than a bone vitamin. It's a circulation powerhouse. It's your spark plug. And if you're running low on it, and chances are you are, your entire system, especially your blood flow, starts misfiring. I remember meeting a man named Paul, 67 years old, former engineer, sharp as a tack. He sat down in my office, sighed, and said, "Doc, I still love my wife. I still want to be close to her. But my body's just not responding the way it used to." That confession. I've heard it hundreds of times. And in so many cases, it's not about desire, it's about biology. More specifically, blood flow. And more often than not, the first piece of that puzzle is vitamin D. Here's why. Vitamin D helps your body produce something called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the traffic cop for your blood vessels. It tells them when to open up and allow smooth, oxygen-rich blood to flow through your arteries. That includes the arteries that lead to areas crucial to your masculinity. Without enough vitamin D, your nitric oxide levels drop. Blood flow becomes restricted. Erections become weaker, energy fades, and even your ability to concentrate can suffer. And we're not talking about some rare condition. Over 40% of adults over 60 are deficient in vitamin D. Why? Because your body just doesn't make it like it used to. In your younger years, spending just 15 to 20 minutes outside was often enough. But as you age, your skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. Plus, many of us spend more time indoors, or we cover up when we're outside, especially if you live in a colder climate. So what happens when you're low? You might feel tired all the time. Your recovery after activity slows down. That mental sharpness you used to pride yourself on. It starts to dull. And most importantly, your blood just isn't getting to where it needs to go. And let's be clear, this isn't just about performance in the bedroom. It's about overall vitality. Vitamin D impacts your immune system, your mood, and even your muscle strength. Low levels are linked to depression, joint pain, and yes, low testosterone levels. It's like a domino effect. Low vitamin D leads to low nitric oxide, which leads to poor blood flow, which impacts hormone production. And before you know it, you're not feeling like yourself anymore. But the good news: this is fixable. And it doesn't require a pharmacy full of medications. Start by getting 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight each morning, preferably before 10 a.m. That's when the UVB rays needed to produce vitamin D are most available and least harsh. Can't get outside much? Live in a cloudy place? Then make sure you're getting it through your diet and supplements. Foods like salmon, tuna, egg yolks, and fortified dairy can help, but for most older men, they're not enough. That's where a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement comes in. Make sure it's D3, not D2. Your body absorbs and uses D3 far more effectively. And one more thing, vitamin D is fat-soluble, which means it absorbs best when taken with a meal that includes healthy fats, like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Don't just pop the pill with water and call it a day. That little tweak could make a big difference. I've seen men who could barely walk around the block start feeling like themselves again, clearer mind, stronger legs, and yes, stronger erections, all because we got their vitamin D levels back to where they needed to be. This isn't hype. It's basic human physiology. When you give your body the raw materials it needs, like vitamin D, it remembers how to perform. But here's the key: vitamin D sets the stage, but it doesn't act alone. If you've ever had energy crashes for no reason or felt like your brain just isn't firing like it used to, even after a full night's sleep, that might be the next piece of the puzzle. Part 2. Vitamin B12, the energy generator. Let's move on to the second powerhouse nutrient, vitamin B12. If you've ever felt like your energy just isn't there anymore, if you're sleeping 7 or 8 hours and still waking up groggy, dragging your feet through the day, or zoning out in the middle of conversations, you're not alone and you're not crazy. This is something I hear from men all the time. I remember a man named Robert who came to my office a few years back. Robert was 72, a retired firefighter, and a proud grandfather of 6. He was the kind of guy who used to carry people out of burning buildings and never missed a family event. But when he sat down in front of me, he looked tired. Not just physically tired, but mentally worn down. He said, "Doc, I don't get it. I eat right. I sleep enough. But every day feels like a slog. I'm not myself anymore. I don't feel sharp. I don't feel like a man who can take charge of the day." What Robert was describing was something I've seen over and over again, a textbook case of vitamin B12 deficiency. Now here's the kicker: B12 deficiency is incredibly common in men over 60, and most don't even know it. Why? Because the symptoms creep up slowly. One day you're just a little more tired than usual. Then you're skipping the gym. Then you can't concentrate. Your libido slips. And suddenly you're wondering what happened to the man you used to be. So let's break it down. Vitamin B12 plays a critical role in how your body creates energy. It's responsible for converting the food you eat into fuel your cells can actually use. You could be eating the cleanest diet on the planet, but if your B12 is low, your tank is still empty. It also helps form red blood cells, those little oxygen delivery vehicles that feed your muscles, your brain, and yes, your sexual organs. When your red blood cell count is low, everything slows down. You're not getting the oxygen you need to function at full strength. You feel foggy, fatigued, and flat. And here's something a lot of men don't realize: as we get older, our ability to absorb B12 from food drops dramatically. Even if you're eating meat, fish, dairy, traditional B12-rich foods, it might not be enough. This is because stomach acid plays a big role in B12 absorption, and stomach acid production tends to decline with age. That means even if you think you're getting enough, your body might not be holding onto it. Now the good news is that this is a fixable problem. Robert started supplementing with methylcobalamin, the most absorbable, active form of B12. Not the cheap stuff you find in bargain bins. Those often use cyanocobalamin, which many older men struggle to convert. He took it first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, so his body could absorb it more efficiently. And within a few weeks, he walked back into my office and said, "Doc, I don't know if it's magic or medicine, but I feel like I got my batteries charged again." He was more focused. He had energy to play with his grandkids. He was initiating intimacy again, not forcing it, not faking it, but actually feeling it. That's what B12 can do when you take it seriously. But here's the real takeaway. Energy isn't just about how much sleep you get or how much coffee you drink. It's about how well your cells are functioning. When your cells are starved of B12, they sputter like a car running on fumes. When they're fed what they need, you can feel that engine turning over again. And trust me, I've seen this play out in men after men. You're not lazy. You're not past your prime. You may just be low on B12. Part 3. Vitamin E, the fertility defender. Now let's turn our attention to a vitamin that doesn't get nearly the attention it deserves, vitamin E. If vitamin D is your circulation spark plug, and vitamin B12 is your cellular energy source, then vitamin E is your body's defender of vitality, especially when it comes to fertility and hormonal health. Now I know what you might be thinking, fertility. At my age. But I want you to hear me out. Vitamin E isn't just about making babies, it's about keeping the machinery running, and I mean that in every sense of the word. Let me tell you about a man named Harold. He was 68, married for 45 years, and still deeply in love with his wife. But intimacy had started to feel like a chore for him, not because the desire was gone, but because his body wasn't cooperating. His stamina was fading. His performance wasn't consistent. And worst of all, he said, "I feel like I'm letting her down." It was heartbreaking and all too common. We ran some blood tests. His testosterone was borderline low, not alarmingly so, but enough to cause symptoms. And one key marker that jumped out at me. His vitamin E levels were in the gutter. See, vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. That means it helps protect your cells, including sperm cells and testosterone-producing Leydig cells in your testes, from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust on your car. It builds up slowly over time, caused by pollution, processed food, alcohol, stress, and even aging itself. Left unchecked, it damages everything it touches: your blood vessels, your nerves, your hormones. Vitamin E helps neutralize that rust. It keeps your blood flowing smoothly, your reproductive organs functioning properly, and your testosterone production steady. In fact, studies have shown that low levels of vitamin E are linked to decreased sperm motility, poor erectile performance, and yes, lower testosterone levels. And don't be fooled, this isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. Vitamin E also supports heart health, immune strength, cognitive sharpness, and even skin elasticity. It's the kind of nutrient that touches almost every system in your body, especially as you age. But here's the problem: vitamin E is fat-soluble, meaning your body stores it in fat, but that also means it's easy to be deficient without realizing it. And modern diets? They're often stripped of healthy vitamin E sources. We're talking almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, avocado, olive oil, foods that older men often cut back on when they go low-fat or try crash diets. And once that E-tank runs low, the gears start grinding. So what did we do with Harold? We put him on a high-quality, mixed tocopherol supplement. Now, this is important. Most cheap vitamin E products only contain alpha tocopherol, but your body needs the full spectrum, alpha, beta, gamma, and delta tocopherols, as well as tocotrienols. That's the form found in nature, and that's the form your body recognizes best. Within a couple of months, Harold wasn't just back to his old self, he was better. He said, "I feel younger than I have in 10 years. More energy, more focus, more drive." He and his wife had even booked a cruise to celebrate. Now that's what I call a vitamin E comeback. So here's the bottom line, gentlemen. If you're over 60 and feeling like your drive is fading, your energy is slipping, or your intimacy is inconsistent, don't overlook vitamin E. It might be the quiet defender your body's been missing. Part 4. Why these three work better together. Now that we've looked at each of these powerhouse nutrients, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and vitamin E, you might be wondering, do I really need to take all three? Can't I just focus on one and see how it goes? Here's the truth. Each of these vitamins plays a unique role, but together, they create a powerful synergy that can transform the way you feel, move, and live. Let me break it down. Vitamin D boosts your circulation, helping oxygen and nutrients get where they need to go. Vitamin B12 converts food into usable energy, firing up your metabolism and nervous system. And vitamin E protects your cells and hormones from oxidative damage, keeping everything running smoothly. But here's where it gets interesting. When you combine them, their benefits amplify. Think of it like tuning up an old engine. You don't just change the oil, you replace the spark plugs, clean the fuel lines, and adjust the timing belt. That's what these vitamins do together. They address the root causes of fatigue, sluggish circulation, hormonal imbalance, and age-related decline from multiple angles. For example, vitamin D helps your body absorb B12 more efficiently. B12 supports the nervous system, which helps regulate hormone production, including the hormones vitamin E helps protect. And vitamin E. It keeps the blood vessels flexible and strong, so that when your circulation improves from vitamin D and your energy revs up from B12, everything flows better. It's a domino effect in the best way possible. I've seen men take just one of these and get decent results. But when they dial in all three, that's when the real shift happens. More energy, better mood, sharper thinking, greater desire. They're not just getting through the day, they're back to living it. So don't think of these vitamins as separate players. Think of them as a team, working together to restore the strength, stamina, and vitality you were born with. Part 6. A daily vitality routine you can actually stick with now that you know what your body truly needs. Vitamin D, B12, E, and magnesium. You're probably thinking, okay, sounds great, but how do I actually make this a habit? I'm not 25 anymore, and I don't want a medicine cabinet full of bottles I forget to take. Believe me, I hear that all the time. And the truth is, consistency beats perfection every single time. Let me introduce you to what I call the daily vitality routine. It's simple. It's realistic. And it's designed with men over 60 in mind, because your energy, memory, and motivation might not be the same as they were at 40. And that's okay. Here's how it works. Step 1. Morning sunshine plus water. Start your day with 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight if possible. This helps jumpstart your vitamin D levels naturally and resets your circadian rhythm. While you're at it, drink a full glass of water with a pinch of sea salt. Why? Because hydration plus trace minerals equals better nutrient absorption all day. Step 2. The core for supplements after breakfast. Never on an empty stomach. Take your foundational supplements. Vitamin D3, preferably with K2 for better calcium regulation. Vitamin B12, methylcobalamin form, under the tongue or in a high-quality capsule. Vitamin E, mixed tocopherols and tocotrienols. Magnesium, glycinate or citrate form, gentle and effective. That's it. For capsules or drops, takes under a minute. Step 3. Midday movement you don't need to hit the gym. Just 15 to 20 minutes of movement, a brisk walk, stretching, gardening, or light weights, helps circulate these nutrients where they're needed. Remember, nutrients ride the bloodstream, and blood flows better when you're moving. Step 4. Evening magnesium wind down. If you're dealing with sleep issues, take a second, smaller dose of magnesium after dinner. It relaxes your muscles and helps prepare your body for deeper rest. Pair that with turning off screens an hour before bed, and you're supporting your testosterone, brain, and immune health all night long. That's it. 4 key nutrients. A little sunlight. A little movement. No expensive powders. No overwhelming schedules. No guilt trips. And here's the best part. When men stick to this routine, they don't just feel better. They build momentum. And momentum is what keeps you going strong in your 60s, 70s, even 80s. You don't need a complete lifestyle overhaul. Just a repeatable routine that works, one that builds strength quietly, consistently, day by day. And that, my friend, is how you start feeling like yourself again. Part 6. A daily vitality routine you can actually stick with now that you know what your body truly needs. Vitamin D, B12, E, and magnesium. You're probably thinking, okay, sounds great, but how do I actually make this a habit? I'm not 25 anymore, and I don't want a medicine cabinet full of bottles I forget to take. Believe me, I hear that all the time. And the truth is, consistency beats perfection every single time. Let me introduce you to what I call the daily vitality routine. It's simple, it's realistic, and it's designed with men over 60 in mind because your energy, memory, and motivation might not be the same as they were at 40. And that's okay. Here's how it works. Step 1. Morning sunshine plus water. Start your day with 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight, if possible. This helps jumpstart your vitamin D levels naturally and resets your circadian rhythm. While you're at it, drink a full glass of water with a pinch of sea salt. Why? Because hydration plus trace minerals equals better nutrient absorption all day. Step 2. The core for supplements after breakfast. Never on an empty stomach. Take your foundational supplements. Vitamin D3, preferably with K2 for better calcium regulation. Vitamin B12, methylcobalamin form, under the tongue or in a high-quality capsule. Vitamin E, mixed tocopherols and tocotrienols. Magnesium, glycinate or citrate form, gentle and effective. That's it. For capsules or drops, takes under a minute. Step 3. Midday movement you don't need to hit the gym. Just 15 to 20 minutes of movement, a brisk walk, stretching, gardening, or light weights, helps circulate these nutrients where they're needed. Remember, nutrients ride the bloodstream, and blood flows better when you're moving. Step 4. Evening magnesium wind down. If you're dealing with sleep issues, take a second, smaller dose of magnesium after dinner. It relaxes your muscles and helps prepare your body for deeper rest. Pair that with turning off screens an hour before bed, and you're supporting your testosterone, brain, and immune health all night long. That's it. 4 key nutrients. A little sunlight. A little movement. No expensive powders. No overwhelming schedules. No guilt trips. And here's the best part. When men stick to this routine, they don't just feel better. They build momentum. And momentum is what keeps you going strong in your 60s, 70s, even 80s. You don't need a complete lifestyle overhaul. Just a repeatable routine that works, one that builds strength quietly, consistently, day by day. And that, my friend, is how you start feeling like yourself again.